Good afternoon. The E-mini is getting slammed into its close, so my idea of it closing in the 88.90 area is certainly wrong. And one of the things that I wanted to point out to you is that these moves out of the middle, we get a congestion area. And this move out of the middle right here, when you can identify a move that comes right out of the middle of it, this congestion area right here, you don't want to mess with those. And there's the one. So we have three of those moves that came right out of the middle. And you don't want to have a resting limit buy at support in these situations. So the market is being sold. We said a couple of times this morning, if we got to the 82 area, the next stop was 75 right here because of this attractor. So the structure really holds and rings true. But our we have, based on structure, we have really three trades. And the first one is based on low volume numbers. The second one is based on high volume numbers. And the third one is a move out of the middle, or what we call a MOM. And the MOM is the market just comes to balance for this congestion period. There are no more buy or sell orders right there. An order a little bit larger than what we've had, or it starts on nothing, or it can start on a size order. But anyway, you'll get a sell or a buy, and there's no liquidity right there. The market has to notch down to fill it. And you can see right here that we've got some volume on this bar as it comes out. Look at the width of these bars compared to the width of these bars on this retracement right here. These bars are much wider. There's a lot more volume going to the downside. This little tiny compressed narrow bar followed by a bar with an S. This is a shame on you, sell, if you don't take that. You just have everything going with it. You just made new lows. You've broken a trading range. You had volume to the downside. The market comes up and the volume dries up. I mean, I'm not surprised the market is lower. If you read the fundamental news, there's no doubt in your mind why the market is headed lower. The Atlanta Fed index, which had correctly predicted the first quarter GDP at a plus 0.1%, came out and said that second quarter GDP at the end of April forecast to be plus 0.9%. Still well below this 2.5% to 3% growth that the Fed comes up with, the IMF comes up with, the World Bank comes up with, the European Central, all of them come up with it. And it's not in any of those banks' best interest to come up with a lower number. So that's where we stand. And we're looking at slow growth. Pretty interesting that, you know, one of the things that, are these people stupid, or do they know what they're doing? Or are they just along with the ride and they can't help themselves? And I put an article up there from Yellen's comments after what Bernanke had said in an opening statement. And they basically pointed out that the quantitative easing programs in Japan had led to nothing. And that's where we find ourselves with our. Now, why are we doing this quantitative easing? Move out of the middle right there in K period. Market comes to balance. We do not want to have a resting buy order at the bottom of value for whatever distribution that you split. So lower high, lower low. Screen number 1 on the E-mini tells us we're a seller tomorrow. Number 2 confirms that. Get this over to where it needs to be. We had a B with volume below time, and this is significant. And it's usually only a tick. In this case, it happens to be 3 ticks below where the mode, where the point of control is. But volume is below time, and what does that tell you? That tells you that somebody is willing to accept a lower price to sell below value to get a trade off. So that 1 tick is all it takes. It could be right here. So this is where the balance point is. And this is where volume is. And that tells you to look for a place to sell it. Get a MOM right here. Do not want a resting limit buy at the bottom of value when these moves come out of the middle. Every half hour I check that. Do not want a resting limit buy on the day session low. It's a good way to get your head handed to you. So here we are. We've got a low at 70. We got volume at 75. Tomorrow's news could have some impact. Got PMI, manufacturing, flash PMI at 54.5. Don't think anybody will pay any attention to this because ISM services, ISM manufacturing is coming out at 52. That's a big number. It can swing the markets. Consumer sentiment at 96, that at 10. Pretty healthy number. The survey was done with the stock market close to 90 to 2100. That'll probably come in. And the construction spending at plus 0.4, and this one usually misses, usually comes in less than forecast. So the news will be 1, 2. And with the E-mini selling, we do not want to be shorting the financials till we see resolve. So we have the spill from 80. Obviously 75, we're assuming a close here at 75. Sell 1, it's going to be 79, 81. The spill was from 83, so they go up and get stops above this. 84, 86 for sell 2. On the buy side, 70 plus or minus 1, and 65 plus or minus 1. But I think it would be healthy to see some unanswered selling right here to bring back a little uncertainty, to add some volatility to what's going on right now. Get some more interest in trading stock index futures, bring some of the larger institutions in that might take a chance at the short side again. Okay, this news will impact financials tomorrow. They'd like to see the ISM number come in lower than forecast and consumer sentiment lower than forecast. Lower high, lower low. F1 screen says find a place to sell the 10-year. G started the move right out of this high volume area right there. H extends it, so this market has trended up, and it's trended up by quite a bit, and this is caused by the E-mini. So we're going to have resistance at 16 to 20. So a close right here, 15 to 19, sell 1. 23, 27, sell 2. This 128, 128.04 is probably maybe as low as 27, 28 is probably best support. So 5 to 9, maybe they change their mind overnight. And then 29 to 1. Excuse me. I had one of those monster sneezes. And depending on what the E-mini does, it may take a 13 to get in. It just depends on how deep the selling goes in the E-mini. Okay, looking at the ZB, did an I split to pick up that move out of the middle. Assuming it closed at 22, 27 to 31, sell 1. 3 to 7, sell 2. On the buy side, we're at 21. So 9 to 13, pick up this breakout down here, buy 1. Put a question mark by 17, and a lot of it depends on what the E-mini does. And then 1 to 5 for buy 2. Try to pick up this volume that's down in here. Gold got whacked. It's paid us to buy it in the 70 area, 75 area. Really, really strong selling. Everything here says find a place to sell it, so there's probably at least a good short for London anyway. And I mean, where do you pick your spots? We've got this area right over here at 87. Got this M period high at 83, so sell one's going to be 85 plus or minus. Got this spill in A period, so 90 plus or minus for sell two. I'd really like to see 75 hold up in the overnight and get long, so you want to be long at 75 plus or minus. And then at 70, 72. So the 70, 75 area I see is pretty good support. I don't see that anything has changed that would make you want to be a seller of gold if you already had it. Trading's a different matter. We understand the difference, but I just think that I just see it everywhere from people that normally wouldn't think about gold or silver wanting to have it, all the way up to people that have a lot of assets putting a little bit into it. They're not buying the ETFs or the physical. They're buying the physical metal for insurance. Okay, stops above 60. I think that's the play. So probably see it in London tonight. 59.75, sell one, and 60.50, 60.75. This low volume area that we have right here from 59.60 up to 60.50, we could blow through that in a hurry. Sell two at 50 to 77, but stops above 60. Let them go get the stops and come back down. On the buy side, we came out of the 59 area, so 59, 58, 75 buy one, and 58 and a quarter, 58.50 buy two. And the euro, we need to go back and take a look at the F1 screen to maintain perspective. Or Jonathan Winters used to say, show me that perspective you got on that thing there, buddy. Got to know what the perspective is. So we've taken out this high right here at 1225. We've taken out the ledge at 12, like 40 or so. So move out of the middle on this high volume number at 1345. This has got to make them sick at the European Central Bank, so we're going to hold all that in. And yeah, well, I guess D is the proper place to have it as we start to blow up. And we got a pretty strong rally going right here from 107 minus to 112 plus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days. That's a $5,000 trade right there. So 1350, 1375 is prime resistance on this contract right now. And again, it's hard to know what's going to happen with Greece. I think it's in the interest of all parties for Greece, the PIGS nations, to figure a way out of the European Union, because their history and their DNA is devaluation of the currency, which is how so everybody owns real estate. Everybody's cool. You devalue the currency. You can prepare for that. You can plan on it, and everything's get along well. And they're put up against the savers in Northern Europe, which don't want their currencies to move at all. And it's a cultural clash. So times are good for Northern Europe while they were good. Now they aren't so good. And so, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Okay, the low volume number up here is 1261. And so far that is holding. We've got an attractor up here at 1346. If we can't take out and hold 1261 overnight, we can trade from the short side. So we're going to put our first sell 50 to 60. And then our second sell is going to be 1300. And today was the end of the month, so the books will be new starting tomorrow for everybody. Compensation issues are out of the way. On the buy side, this move started out of 66. We're at 16. Have some support, so this 75 to 85 area buy 1, and 40 to 50 for buy 2. But I think the easiest trade to see is failure to take out 1261 and hold that area, 1260, 1265. And that's it for April the 30th, 2015. I'll see you bright and early in the morning. You'll have a great evening. 75 outdoors here, so it's going to be another delightful and not a lot of wind, so we like it.